All right, in this presentation, we're going to go over something that I think is pretty cool. All right, let's just start at the top here. I wrote, a cool aspect of the Portuguese language is how you can say things like, I am going to help him, or he wanted to eat it, or he wants to open it. So let's look at some examples of how to do this. First of all, for example, if I have the sentence, I am going to help him, with the verb ajudar, meaning to help, there's a few different ways I could say it. So I could say, number one, eu vou ajudar ele. I am going to help him. Or I could say, eu vou o ajudar, with the o referring to him. Or I could say, eu vou ajudá-lo, cutting off the R from ajudar and adding a lo, L-O, with the O, right, the U, referring to him. Eu vou ajudá-lo. Now, using this principle of number 3 above, if I wanted to say I'm going to help her, it would be eu vou ajudá-la, right? Eu vou ajudá-la, with the A referring to her. So what about this sentence? I am going to help them. It would simply be eu vou ajudá-los, with the os referring to them. And I am going to help them, with them being all females, is eu vou ajudá-las, with the as referring to them, the girls, right, the females. So I think this is a really cool way to, and a fun way to speak, you know, and it really shows that you kind of know more about the language. You have a better grasp on the language if you can say things like this. So let's go over this sentence. Second paragraph here. What about the sentence, he wanted to eat it? The verb comer, to eat. Well, let's say the it, quote unquote, is ice cream, which is, in Portuguese, o sorvete. And everyone, let's say when we're talking about this, everyone around us understands that we're talking about ice cream. So in this case, the sentence would be, if he wanted to eat it, ele queria, he wanted, comê-lo. Ele queria comê-lo. Because ice cream is a masculine word in Portuguese, right? So it's o. Ele queria comê-lo. What if we said he wanted to eat it and the it was salad, which is a salada? In this case, because salad is a feminine word in Portuguese, a salada, our sentence would be ele queria comê-la. Right? Meaning, referring to a salada. And this sentence, he wanted to eat them, with them being multiple cakes. Bolos, os bolos, the cakes. If we wanted to say he wanted to eat them, referring to the cakes, we'd say ele queria comê-los, with the os referring to os bolos, right? And for the last sentence here in the second paragraph, he wanted to eat them, with them being multiple apples, which are as maçãs, right, in Portuguese, so it's a feminine. The sentence would be ele queria comê-las. Comê-las, as, with the as referring to as maçãs, right? So, kind of cool. So, in the top paragraph, the examples I used an AR verb, ajudar. The second paragraph I used an ER verb, comer. Now this third paragraph, let's use an IR verb. Take the sentence, he wants to open it. To open, abrir. He wants to open it. If the it is a safe or a vault, which is o cofre, the sentence would be, ele quer, he wants, abri-lo. Ele quer abri-lo. He wants to open it. Now the sentence, he wants to open it, with this time the it being a door, which is a feminine word, a porta, the translation would be, ele quer abri-la. All right. Now, because we use a verb, abrir, with a consonant, an R, before the ilu or ila, we don't need an accent on the I. Again, this is kind of getting into a little more complex stuff, but if we use a verb with a consonant before the ilu or ila, all right, or ilus or ilas, then we don't need an accent on the I. If we use a verb with a vowel before the final IR, such as possuir, the U, possuir, which means to possess, so we would change it to possuí-lo or possuí-la or possuí-los, possuí-las, right? Then, or concluir, another verb with a U before the IR, a vowel before the IR, concluí-lo, right? To conclude it, or concluí-la, to conclude it. Okay, then we do need an accented I if there is a vowel before the final IR in that verb. So for example, I'm going to distribuir, them, the packages. I'm talking about the packages. I'm going to distribute them. But them is the packages, which in Portuguese is os pacotes. Of course, that's a masculine, right? And we're talking about more than one. So the sentence would be, eu vou distribuí-los, right? I'm going to distribute, vou distribuir, but it's them, the packages, the masculine, plural. Vou distribuí-los. Vou distribuí-los. All right, and he is able to attract her. Would be ele pode, he is able. The verb atrair, right? And now we're talking about her, so it's a feminine, singular, right? Ele pode atraí-la. And these last two sentences, of course, right, are examples of where you have to put the accent over the I before the lu, la, lus, or las. Anyway, again, that's getting into a little more complicated aspect of the language, but you know, if I'm going to do these presentations, I want to get into some of this stuff. So on the bottom there it says, for AR verbs, you will see this. Alu, ala, alus, or alas, and with the accent on the A. That's what you use. For ER verbs, you'll see elu, ela, elus, elas, with the accent, that circumflex accent over the E. And for IR verbs with a consonant before the IR in the verb, you'll see ilu, ila, ilus, ilas. There is no accent on the I. For IR verbs with a vowel before the IR in the verb, you'll see ilu, ila, ilus, ilas, with the accent over the I. So, all right. This is kind of, like I say, kind of a fun way to say things, and kind of a cool aspect of the language. So anyway, practice it up. Agora é tua vez.